Jim Lee, and this is Jimmy in the Wild, and I'm here with Jesse Lee, and we're going to go find some river treasure today. So before we could even get started on the river, we saw this goose came flying down and landed right next to us. We have a Canadian goose that is hanging out with us today. Well, at least for the first part of the trip. It's okay. Jesse's trying to feed it Spam right now. I don't think the goose is going to eat Spam. Just feed it something. You just don't have anything to eat. Stuff's hard to get a hold of. You want to try that? Yeah? Oh, he likes that. He likes the water weeds, Jess. We're going to head down the river. Hopefully he doesn't follow us. We shoved off and the little guy jumps in the water right behind us. The little goose followed us down the river, bounced between the boats all the way through the rapids, and we made it about 2 miles before he found another group of geese to hang out with. Here we are making sure the little guy settled with his new friends. Just didn't want to get it on camera because we might have scared them all away, and then we'd be back in the same boat. The little guy would follow us down the river even further. Needs to be in the wild. About 10 minutes after we parted ways with the little goose, we came upon a family of 4 otters up against a clay cliff. They're trying to drag a big suckerfish out of the water and dine on him. They're pretty cute. Here are a few drone clips that show the part of the river where we usually start snorkeling. It's where Eagle Creek dumps into the Clackamas River and pretty much the next hole downstream from it. We see tons of fish here in the spring and sometimes into the summer. The family has called this hole the Lost and Found hole for the last 10 years because of all the cool stuff we found here. Mostly sunglasses, sometimes phones, unopened beverages. However, we didn't find a darn thing today. It was kind of disappointing. So we got back in the boats and headed down towards Barton Park. That's where it usually really starts getting good. Of course, it starts getting very interesting there as well. Here's a sped up clip of people getting into the water at Barton Park. Just an endless train of tubes, rafts, whatever they want to float on. Sometimes air mattresses, just the weirdest stuff. Anyway, we wanted to check the ramp because people usually drop a lot of stuff right when they get in the water. Here's some drone footage of people floating down the river. It's just an endless procession of tubes going from Barton all the way to Carver. People get in at Barton, they get out at Carver. Maybe 3 or 4 hours of float time, but it's a traffic jam in and it's a traffic jam out. It's very interesting. And this is where we launched the drone and landed the drone. This little tiny island right in the middle of the river gave us a great vantage point. Good place to land and take off. Perfect. After flying the drone around for 10 or 15 minutes, we headed downstream to a really awesome hole. 4 or 5 houses up on the cliff, but I feel bad for these guys. Several feet of their yard disappears every couple of years due to high water on the river. Eventually they're going to be left with no yard. Although we found a few cool things at this pool, we found lots of trash and lots of cans. We spent a little bit of time rounding them up and putting them in a garbage bag, probably 15 minutes worth. We had to dive down to about 10 or 15 feet to grab all these cans and all the other garbage. Wasn't enough room on our boats for everything, but we got most of it. Eventually we got to one of our favorite places on the river. It's a little side channel that kind of breaks off from the river, and it's got a lot less water, but a lot of people lose stuff there, and it's not enough water to wash you away. It's really fun. Here we are at our last snorkeling pool of the day, and we see a jet boat come down the river. Listen to the cranky lady in the background getting all pissed off at him. Okay, we're done with our trip down the river. Our big find of the day is this hydro flask. A little bit damaged. It's got a few dents. It's not perfect. It's still functional. So that's the big find of the day. We have a handkerchief or a bandana, whatever you want to call it. We have 4 rope couplings, 1 can koozie, 1 really hammered pair of sunglasses, pretty cheap looking too. A nice fishing lure, spitter. We have a 1 lighter, 1 golf ball. It says Juice and has a Nike symbol. And we have 2 pieces of pencil lead weight, which are commonly used for bobber fishing. Anyway, that's the take today. Most of it's gonna probably go in the garbage. I'll keep the rope couplings just because we've got a running bucket with these in it. We probably have 100 of them in there. The couplings come off of inner tubes with rope, and so they can link the inner tubes together easily. You just insert them and twist. They fit together like that, so you can tie your tubes together, even though you're not supposed to actually have your tubes tied together on the river, but we find those everywhere. Great day on the river. We had that little goose hang out with us for a couple miles. I think it wanted to go home with us. Pretty sure it thought we had better food at home than it had in the river. Well, if you like, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. There's more videos to come. It's going to be a nice long summer. See you later.